Welcome to part 2 of our series on Louis XIV. We continue right where we left off. On June 7, 1654, the young monarch was crowned in the Cathedral of Reims. Following his coronation, Louis did not remain idle. He soon joined the front lines of the Franco-Spanish War, a conflict that had dragged on since 1635 as part of the wider 30 Years' War. He was present during the Battle of Arras, and in June 1655, personally led troops during the campaign at Haina. By 1658, France once again faced threats along its northern frontier. Although Louis wanted to take direct command during the siege of Dunkirk, it was Marshal Turenne who actually led the French forces. Their victories in Flanders posed a significant danger to the Spanish Netherlands. During this campaign, however, Louis fell gravely ill with scarlet fever, forcing him to remain bedridden at the front for more than 2 weeks. After 25 years of war, peace was finally reached in 1659 with the Treaty of the Pyrenees, which not only expanded French territory, but also ended the ambitions of Prince de Conde, who had once sought the throne with Spanish backing. 6 months later, Conde reconciled with the king as part of the treaty. Louis was required to marry Maria Theresa of Spain, his double first cousin. While the king had fallen in love with Maria Mancini, Cardinal Mazarin's niece, the cardinal, pushed him into a politically necessary marriage. This created serious tension between Louis and his mentor. Nonetheless, on June 9, 1660, the wedding between Louis XIV and Maria Theresa took place at Saint-Jean-de-Luz. Their union produced 6 children, though only Louis the Grand Dauphin lived into adulthood. The others, Zanille, Elizabeth, Marie-Anne. Marie Therese, nicknamed La Petite Madame, Philippe Charles, and Louis Francois, died young. A link to a video about Maria Theresa appears in the corner of your screen. The peace with Spain turned out to be Mazarin's last political achievement. On March 9, 1661, the cardinal passed away at age 58, leaving Louis not only his political legacy, but also the immense fortune he had built. Instead of naming a new prime minister, Louis XIV stunned the court by announcing he would govern alone. He reduced the Conseil d'Enhot, the High Council, a little more than an advisory body. With the support of Jean-Baptiste Colbert, a loyal administrator, the king quickly targeted Nicolas Fouquet, the powerful finance minister. Fouquet's immense wealth and influence alarmed Louis. Though legally untouchable as Attorney General, Colbert convinced him to sell the office, making him vulnerable. In September 1661, during a grand event, D'Artagnan arrested Fouquet, was later imprisoned after a long trial. This public downfall sent a clear message. No one was to outshine the Sun King. From the very start of his personal reign, Louis understood the value of public image. By 1662, the title La Roi Soleil, the Sun King, was being promoted everywhere. He chose the sun as his emblem, symbolizing power, light, and life itself. In 1663, Louis founded the Petit Académie, described by Colbert as an institution to glorify the monarch's deeds. This marked the beginning of one of the largest propaganda efforts of the early modern world. Meanwhile, Colbert worked to strengthen the French economy. Trade expanded, the Manufacture des Gobelins was established, and import tariffs were doubled. To protect local industries, a policy later called Colbertism. These measures aimed to rival the growing economic power of the Dutch Republic in England. In 1664, the Compagnie des Indes Orientales was created to compete overseas. Reforms also reached law and order. In 1667, Paris saw the appointment of its first police chief, Gabriel Nicolas de la Reynie. Soon after, a new civil code ordinance, Civilly, was issued in 1670, followed by a criminal code ordinance, Criminel. Tragedy struck in 1665, when the Queen Mother Anne of Austria was diagnosed with breast cancer. She died on January 20th, a loss that deeply affected Louis. At the same time, Spain failed to pay Maria Theresa's dowry, fueling the king's renewed ambitions for war against the Spanish crown. And this brings us to the close of part 2 of Louis XIV's biography. The next episode will cover his wars of expansion, the persecution of the Huguenots, and the first signs of the king's declining health. See you in next video.